It's the NFL on EA Sports, and we'll see the versatile Deebo Samuel. Big plays follow him around. He comes in second in the NFL in receiving yards. It's the 49ers and the Commanders coming up next.
It's a pretty frigid December day in our nation's capital. We got our space heaters on full blast up in the booth at FedEx Field. Today, Week 17 is upon us, and we've got a good one in store here, as it'll be the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Washington Commanders. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin on this final day of 2023, New Year's Eve. Folks are fine-tuning their resolutions. Fitness clubs ready for that January boon. But these two teams have one more important piece of business to take care of before the calendar turns to 2024.
And I'll be one of those.
The final 2-week stretch of the 2023 regular season, and we are underway, Week 17 here on this New Year's Eve. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. So out comes the Washington offense onto the field. They'll be led out by their quarterback, a product of NC State. It's Jacoby Brissett.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance, because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 inter.
This is caught inside the 15. Touchdown, Washington. Curtis Samuel with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Commanders get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. The extra point by Sly is up and good, and it's now a 7-0 game. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Duvernay going to sit on this in the end zone, so it'll come out to the 25. The Niners offense set to go to work, and it's last year's revelation, Brock Purdy, who leads them out in season number 2 from Iowa State.
And the tendency for most of these guys is to want to match things right away, because they have a lot of confidence in their talent too. They just saw a big strike against their team, and you know they're thinking to themselves, I can get this back right now on one play. Well, if it's there, you take it, but otherwise, just go ahead and calm your team down. Run the offense, get things going, and see how things settle in.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Devin Duvernay, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down. You talk about this Washington defense. They really played well a week ago in that win over the Jets.
Yeah, they pitched a shutout in that game, didn't they? And those don't come around all that often in the NFL. The ability to keep someone out of the end zone, and also from kicking one through the post. Well done. So
they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. They'll try and pick it up with McCaffrey. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
You know, it was tough for them to stand on the sidelines and watch the other team take it downfield and score, wasn't it? So they knew when they get on the field, it's on them. Pick up first downs, get downfield and score. How about them picking up that 3rd and short?
I was just going to say, you and I were talking before the game, those 3rd down conversions are going to be huge in this one. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. They'll let the QB keep it here off the option. And he probably should have given that one off, as he's going to get hit and taken down behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down. And not a lot of success to be found there.
Oh, you got that right, partner, because if you're trying to make guys miss about 10 yards or so downfield, that's a pretty good play. But if you got to do it in your own backfield, I consider that a problem. That doesn't work too well.
Here's Purdy now on 3rd and goal. And the Washington pressure gets to him. He will go down. Chase Young make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if I'm going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
So on 4th down, here's the Australia native Mitch Wishnowsky to punt this one away. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Pulled in at the 24. The 46-yard punt, 8 yards on the return. And the Commanders will take over with a 1st and 10. Out there set ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. Well, partner, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here. And
it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
Second quarter now from our nation's capital, and it's Washington in possession of the football, as they've got it with a 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Robinson. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. 12 yards is the pickup, and it's good for a Washington 1st down.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and turn his legs for a really nice pickup.
Robinson with another carry. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. 47 yards rushing for him now to this point. 2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. Options galore here, 2nd and a few inches. They'll try to throw now. Brissett. Incomplete.
And I think he was a little surprised to see the ball sitting out there like that. That's a ball he had a chance to come away with, but it winds up an incomplete pass.
An incomplete pass on 2nd down leads us to 3rd and inches. They'll run with Gibson. And he will have the 1st down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
That's quite a spot there for his first carry of the game, but obviously they had plenty of faith in him, didn't they?
No question about it. And here, why not go with the fresh legs? Able to push forward, pick up that 1st. To throw, Brissett. And that is caught. Touchdown, Washington. Brian Robinson Jr. touchdown grab. And the Commanders go up by 2 touchdowns. Well, this has been a flawless start for them. They score, they get the stop, and they score again, Charles.
Complimentary football at its finest. You just mentioned how they got it done. They scored. The defense got the ball back for them. They score again. That's the way you win ball games.
Now Joey Sly for the point after. And it's good to make it 14-0. A drive that time of 6 plays. And Brian Robinson finished things off with a touchdown grab. Kick team out there for the Commanders as they send this one away. No run back here for Duvernay. Touchback out to the 25. Back out there comes the 49ers offense ready for their second drive. Well, Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp. and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Purdy will set up to throw it here. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's Washington that scoops it up. And he gets it back into the end zone. It's a fumble recovery leading to a Washington touchdown. Well, Charles, not only did they fumble the football, but they're starting to fumble away their chances here a little bit. We've got a 3-score ball game now here in the first half.
And the last thing you want to do, partner, is help the other team with what are avoidable turnovers. You want to hang on to the football because you're already playing against a good team. You're just making it easier for them by giving them extra opportunities.
The extra point by Sly is up and good, and that makes the score 21-0. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way, the fumble return for a touchdown. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. Duvernay going to sit on this in the end zone, so it'll come out to the 25. The 49ers offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And a first half that really has not been kind to them. A late opportunity here to maybe make some inroads on this deficit before half.
And this drive's going to go a long way towards telling us whether they actually have a chance to come all the way back in this game or not.
And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home. They overloaded that time of the safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
And this drive is almost over before it began thanks to a great defensive effort. Sack on first down, followed by an incompletion. One more good rep, and they get off the field.
3rd down, here's McCaffrey. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. Call it a gain of 4, but not enough. The punt team going to need to be summoned here on 4th down.
Well, the guys who are paid to make the tackles deserve some kudos there, but I think they deserve even bigger ones because in that situation, they had to be thinking pass. Loosened up defense, going to pass coverage. Instead, maybe they surprised them a little bit running the ball, yet they rallied to it and stopped them well short of a first down.
Wishnowski on to punt as he sends this one away. And taken right on the 30. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. So we've reached halftime here on New Year's Eve. As we
to Brandon Gott.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The 49ers going to have the football and trailing on the scoreboard as we get back underway on EA Sports. No run back here for Duvernay. Touchback out to the 25. Here comes the 49ers offensive unit as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. Well, they look up at the scoreboard facing that deficit. A 3-score game, Charles, but look, there's plenty of time to go here. The old football cliche that comes to my mind is you can't get it all back at once. They probably need something, though, out of this drive, at least 3 points.
Are you trying to say that there's no 3-score drive on that play sheet for any of those coordinators? They just don't have it, right? You're trying to get it all back. You know you can't get it back in one drive. But maybe cut into it a little bit as you just suggested. Try and create a little bit of momentum, a little bit of a spark, and then maybe that'll carry over.
Out of the gun, Purdy. On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Here's Purdy. Had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. Well, the passing windows are just not there, and that's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offensively.
Here comes the 49ers punter now as he's on here to punt it away. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. This is fielded at the 27. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Set to go again. Here's Brian Robinson in the Commander offense. And he's closing in on that number that all running backs circled beginning of the year, the number 1,000. Could do it on this drive.
And you have to think to yourself that this moment, getting to this spot, it started in the offseason, right? Not just the workouts, right? Not just getting yourself physically prepared to play, but mentally, as well as your team, as well as your unit, head coach, offensive coordinator. We run the football. We give you opportunities. He's taking advantage of it.
And when you get this close to the mark, you just hope things don't tighten up, right? You probably want to get there and get it in your rearview mirror.
You really do, don't you? Because now it becomes predominant, and you wonder about play calling as well. Do you want to call plays to get that out of the way, or are you still calling plays to win the game first? That becomes the burden of the play caller.
Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. This defense tried to do its part, active hands on that play, but their offense hasn't given them much to work with.
So they're not going to worry about it. On their side of the ball, all they're concerned about, can they create some scoring opportunities and help out that offense?
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Now Brissett. And down he goes. The 49ers get there. Finally hauled down for the first time this game. Multiple defenders in there to drop him.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
So 4th and 15, but the offense is staying out there to go for it. They're going to try and throw. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And the Niners take over in terrific field position.
Now, that's just simply good coaching and excellent technique on that play. You know why? Because everyone wants to rush the passer when they want to throw the football, but you're not always going to get there. So what are you taught to do? When the ball's finally thrown, get your hands up in the passing lanes, and they batted that one away.
No. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. How about Jonathan Allen there, pushing upfield to make the stop behind the line?
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
Second down and right back to McCaffrey. And this time not quite to the 30. He'll be down at the 31-yard line.
31. 12 yards on the play. It's third down.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Niners on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Purdy connects with Kittle underneath. So he stopped for no gain. And that's going to make it 4th down. Purdy, big 4th down play. Completes it to Samuel. And he'll be out of bounds, able to get it down to the 25 there. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. On 1st down, Purdy. That's to Mitchell out of the backfield. And able to get this down inside the 15 to either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. On 1st down, this is McCaffrey. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. And they're going to hurry back to the line now. Purdy from the gun. This will be caught just inside the 10. And he'll wind up getting about 6 out of that, as that's going to lead us to the 2-minute warning. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score. Now Purdy. And this is going to be incomplete. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same Surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements. This is caught.
And the 49ers are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points. That'll be caught by Ayuk. Touchdown 49ers. A 1-yard touchdown pass. And the Niners are finally on the board here in the 4th quarter. Well, that's just how they drew it up, CD. His first read was there, got it to him quickly and into the end zone.
Absolutely excellent execution by all involved. And the coordinator, got to give him credit, found the perfect play call. Quarterback let it fly as soon as the target came free, and his guy made a nice catch. Just how you draw it up in practice and then execute it in the game. 2 scores down, 3 timeouts left. Still a chance if they can somehow get this one back.
And this is going to be covered up by Washington. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. The Washington offense back out there. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. We've got to have 2 hands on the football here as they run on 1st down. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball. And he will have a Commanders first down, and that should just about do it. Five points of contact necessary at this stage as they'll run on first down.
And now the Niners going to signal for their third and final timeout as they'll get it with just under 90 seconds remaining. Again, it's Robinson.
And he works his way free all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. And not what you want to see this late in the season. Medical staff is going to check on him, and we'll step aside for a moment. Straight ahead, it's Robinson. 96 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries.
This offensive line starting to win up front. You win that battle in the trenches, you can kind of wear them down here late.
So you bring in the second part to that equation, and that's the big running back, the big bruiser, who can get more than what's blocked and break a few extra tackles and gain yardage.
They'll run with Robinson.
They give him 5 that time as they draw a bit closer here for a second and goal.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
An ideal down and distance to try to finish this thing off. 2nd and inches.
Robinson is in. Touchdown, Commanders.
Well, he's been the workhorse on this drive, and it would have been unfair to bring someone else in to finish the job. So they go back to him again, and he delivers with a touchdown run.
Sly on for the extra point.
He knocks it through. It's 28-7. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told.
And it was capped off by the touchdown run for Brian Robinson.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
Duvernay going to sit on this in the end zone, so it'll come out to the 25.
The 49ers offense now. They work their way back onto the field.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
Following the incomplete pass, here they go again. 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Back to throw, Purdy. Oh, the Commanders are going to get there as he's taken down.
Jonathan Allen, give him the credit for the sack and a loss of 14 yards.
So it's Washington getting the victory here.
And it was their defense that really paved the way to this victory as they allowed the 1 touchdown, and that was all she wrote.
Almost want to do the defense chant right now, right? Defense with a couple of claps in there, but no one wants to hear that from me. Let's just talk about how they got it done, though. When you take care of every aspect of the game, shut down the run, control the airways, right? Make sure the quarterback is harassed. This is the type of performance you get. They can't fashion together any offense, no consistency, and they just took control.
So for the Commanders, they solidify their spot in the playoffs as they run their
Legends on 3, 2, 1.
That's on. Go that, go that, go that, go that, go that, go that. Please, please don't. Go that, go that, go that, go that, go that with me. Go that, 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 go that.
Man, they even got enough change in the meter. Double part looking like Bane in the beater. Her friend keep helping detangle the weave. Only jumped in the front seat to play with the speakers. Thunder my plans, Dutch on my bands. Plus when I stumble my customized vans. Plush like brush like plus I got 'em up. Plus size Panamera truck. I hop out the roof. Yeah, dime on my left wrist and she got the flu. Yeah, watch look like checks mix is post up be blue. She know it's 2 seats, so she leave her best friends. Bust down my dad face. Your chain is
That's
a
on.
neck.
Go that, go that, go that, go that, go that, go that. Please, please don't. Go that, go that, go that, go that, go that, go that with me. Left wrist, go that, right wrist, go that, necklace, go that, sis, go that, this don't. Go that, go that, go that, go that, go that, go that, me.
I had to hit my designer for sneaks. Double dip mine in the bleach. I'm blocking for sure. I'm popping down Miami Beach. Pull up like LeBron with the heat. I bought a crib in the crib with the office shit. Beach at my mouth, but I can't see me walking there. I whip a Tesla, but it ain't no charge of that. I call up Pro and Brianna been parking the top P box seats. I'm watching Usher. They cop like stop right next to my block and trust fund. Beat I might drop that hips on the stallion and Doja her top half. 2300 on the horse and I'm Mike. Switching out the character, the strippers like Tigers. Legends on 3, 2, 1.
You tried it. You say you love me like you love him. You lying. You know your worth for what it's worth. I could buy it. We'll say it's lonely at the top, but I'm biased because I'm only at the top. But you tried it. You say you love me like you love him. You lying. You know your worth for what it's worth. I could buy it. We'll say it's lonely at the top, but I'm biased.
That's on. Go that, go that, go that, go that, go that, go that. Please, please don't. Go that, go that, go that, go that, go that, go that with me. Left wrist, go that, right wrist, go that, necklace, go that, sis, go that, this don't. Go that, go that, go that, go that, go that, go that with me. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Don't get the dark cause the feds on it. Don't get the dark cause the feds on it.
It's Madden NFL 24 on EA Sports, and we've got CD Lamb, who's third in the league in catches this season and ready for more this week. It's the Cowboys and the Commanders, and it comes your way next on Madden Football.
We are just inside the Beltway, about 10 miles east of the Capitol Dome as we come to you from FedEx Field here in Landover. It's all about divisional matchups on this final day of the regular season, and we've got a compelling one in store here, as it'll be the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Washington Commanders. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and yes, it's January 7th, but we haven't seen you since New Year's Eve, so we have to say Happy New Year, one and all. And partner, Happy New Year to you. This is it, the conclusion of the 2023 season. Hard to believe, but we got a good one here between division rivals. And you like what the NFL's done here, making Week 18 all-division games.
I think it's one of the more inspired moves by the league because they've made these matchups really count. And typically they mean something, not a lot of coasting as people head towards the playoffs. But I do have to ask, January 7th, is it too late to say it? We're kind of right on the borderline, aren't we, about Happy New Year? Because that always seems to be the subject of debate.
And McLaurin, the motion man right. He's going to handle it on the touch pass. And a great job there to read that one defensively. They strung him out, would not allow him to cut upfield.
25 yards that time.
Just a simple tap pass, but it pays off in a big way.
And sometimes the simple stuff causes the most problems for a defense because there's a breakdown in communication there. When that receiver goes behind the line of scrimmage and it looks like he's going in motion, someone either has to go with him or he has to be passed off to another defender.
And now off to the races down the right side. Touchdown, Washington.
Brian Robinson Jr. with his 17th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Commanders need just 2 plays on their opening drive to take the early lead.
Well, if they didn't get the wake-up call before the game, they got it right now. 2 plays already in the end zone.
I think of it in boxing terms because whether it's a big shot with your first one or a probing one, a little bit of a jab, the second one was the payoff. That was the big one that landed. 1-2, end zone.
Joey Sly on for the extra point.
Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. And it's caught inside the 5. And he gets in. And no one was expecting a fake there, but they add 2 more onto their lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25.
Now we'll see what the right arm of Dak Prescott has in store as the Dallas Cowboys offense sets up shop.
And how about the toughness of Dak Prescott? We see it all the time on the field. And remember when he had that serious ankle injury, would he return to form? Boy, did he ever. And he was better than ever, and that's great for the NFL. Terrific resilience, playing at a high level, capable of winning a championship with his arm and his legs.
So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line.
They'll run with Pollard to begin the drive.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
This Washington defense, Charles, terrific in the victory a week ago.
It was an absolutely dominating shutdown performance for them because they shut down the run, they shut down the pass. I think at one point the question was whether or not they could actually hold them to negative yardage for the entire game. That's how well they played. I don't know if those numbers can carry over to this one, but they do expect to play at a high level.
We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion we had with the coaching staff was, we may give up some points in this game, so offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up. That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
On 4th down, here's Brian Anger now to kick this one away. And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. This is brought in at the 21. And he'll be out right at the 35.
A nice return that time of about 14 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. Out comes the Washington offense as we get a look at the playoff race in the NFC. Well, we do know, Charles, they will be in the playoffs. They currently sit at pole position #1, but nothing's set in stone right now. They still have to earn that top spot.
And it makes me reflect back to preseason when you and I do our tours of camps. The prevailing message in each and every one of them was what? Win the division.
Win the division.
Win the division. You know you're in the playoffs. It means something. It means a home game. It means a number of other things, but winning the division is paramount. You're right. They won't step off the gas here.
These two teams getting a couple of late season tilts this year. Their first meeting was not too long ago, back in week 12, and it was the Commanders who picked up the road victory, so they'll be fighting for the season sweep in this one. That would complete downfield to Thomas. Big yardage that time for Washington. 54 yards.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, only they were all this easy because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Robinson up the middle. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2. Now a timeout called for by the offense. So as they take it over, we step aside. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. Running with the fullback, Alex Arma. And it'll be a minimum pickup here as it will take us to the end of the first quarter. One quarter down, 8-0 the score. Second quarter now from our nation's capital, and it's Washington in possession of the football as they've got it with a 3rd down coming up. Robinson will try to pick it up. Call it no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1. Remember, that was less than a yard. That was not a full yard. That defense, they were having none of it.
Yeah, the surge the offensive line was seeking actually occurred on the other side of the ball. They reestablished the line of scrimmage and stuffed them.
They'll run for it with Robinson. And he will take it in. Touchdown, Commanders. Brian Robinson Jr. Touchdown number 22 on the season. And the Commanders' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. So they only needed a couple of feet there on 4th down, but they got more than that and then some as he takes this into the end zone.
And I love your description right there, right? 4th and short. They got that. No problem. Let's go ahead and get the rest of it. Finish it off in the end zone. Touchdown. Everyone goes away happy on that one.
Extra point by Sly is up and good. And the lead is up to 15 now. Washington kick team back out there now as they will send this one away. And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return. Second drive forthcoming here for the Dallas Cowboys as we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always always end up winning games for you.
They went 3 and out on their first drive. Things already looking better here. 1st and 10. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Prescott. And the Washington pressure gets to him, and he will go down.
An injury stoppage here, and you hope this is nothing serious. That's Dak Prescott who is shaken up. And this is just the last thing you want to see in the final week of the regular season. Well, I hope he's okay. We'll step aside and be right back.
And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. And here comes throw number 1 for the backup QB. And his first throw here is incomplete.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make 3rd down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big 3rd down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
On 3rd down, it's Pollard. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Well, they certainly didn't appear to be fired up about their options throwing the football. So, to me, this seems like a case of just kind of taking their medicine there, run the ball, see if they can pick up something. Instead, they were throwing for a loss.
On is the punter, Brian Anger, to kick this one away. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. And it's fielded at the 34. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards.
And Washington will have a short field here as they take over 1st and 10.
Brissett. Oh, and he'll just get rid of this one deep. And this one is incomplete.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender, couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Brissett sets to throw it. This one complete to Curtis Samuel. Give him 32 on the play.
When they needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Delay of game, offense.
Play clock all the way to 0. Didn't get the snap off. 5-yard penalty.
And you see the head coach writing that note on his play sheet right now. He's going to be addressing that with his staff. A sense of urgency, get to the line of scrimmage, snap the ball.
Delay of game, offense.
Not enough sense of urgency there. Play clock hits 0, 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, I like your point there. Not enough sense of urgency. People walking up to the line of scrimmage, you've got to get up there and get set and be ready to go.
Delay of game, offense. Still first down.
Sooner or later, we should get a snap, I think. This is now 1st and 25 after another penalty. And boy, again, they won't get this off in time.
Delay of game, offense.
So a little tardy getting everyone set, and the clock hits 0 before they could snap it.
Yeah, you can take your time and use the clock and try and get set up, but once it gets near 5 seconds, that's when you often hear a quarterback yelling, hurry, hurry, to make sure everybody's ready to get the snap off.
Brissett. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And incomplete on the deep ball.
I like the thought process there. They connected on a big play, and sometimes you find the defense vulnerable. So they went for the bigger shot, went for it all on that one. This time, they were ready for it.
A 51-yard attempt.
And now this ball picked up in the end zone. Remember, this is a live ball. And fortunately here for them, he's going to be taken down before he can gather much momentum on the run back. So no fireworks on the final field goal attempt, and that'll do it for this first half.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. It's all down to this. Week 18 of the NFL regular season. Lots to be decided, so let's get right to it. We'll begin up north at MetLife Stadium over in New Jersey.
Hey, we get it. No time to waste. Playoffs starting next week. We skip right over halftime and get back to the action. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. It's the Cowboys who get the football first, and they trail here as well as we resume action in the third quarter. And we will not have a run back here as the second half starts with a touchback. Out come the Cowboys now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. In the first half, they struggled a little bit to keep pace offensively, CD, down 2 scores here. So how do they make some changes coming out of the locker room?
Well, they've studied what they did in the first half. They've seen what the defense has thrown at them. Now they want to have a plan of attack against it. So you come out, you're not going to get all the points back on one drive, but get started on it. Start chopping into that lead, and maybe it'll inspire your defense to help out as well.
But he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home. Montez Sweat able to use that strength to get him for a loss of 2.
I'd say it's not panic time yet, but let's be honest about it. Empty possession here, not what you're looking for when you're down a couple of scores.
Absolutely not. Trying to start the second half off on the right foot. Unfortunately, going to give the ball up. at the 23. It's 2nd and 12. Pollard will take it up the gut. And he'll manage only a couple here up to the 25.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
On 3rd down, it's Prescott. Eluding the pressure right. And he's going to lose a yard or two. Taken down behind the line. Montez Sweat able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. He's certainly one of those quarterbacks that can burn you with his mobility, but that time able to hem him in and get him to the ground.
Perfect descriptor right there about how they kept him in the pocket. Excellent job of containment, but they were still able to continue to bring such strong pressure without letting him escape. But how about those guys in the secondary as well? Kept the coverage tight, plastered to the receivers, and left no real options for him to throw it downfield.
So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 42. Brissett now. That's out wide here for Robinson. So he'll be stopped here for no gain. And that will bring up 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained. So they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Slings this deep for McLaurin. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
On 3rd down, Brissett. And that nearly the pick that they needed. He couldn't pull it in, though, and it's 4th down.
Has to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts, this time on 3rd down.
And now the punter, Tress Way, as he sends this one away. So out of bounds on the punt, and the spot will be, the side judge says, right at the 35-yard line here. Dallas offense set for this next drive. The results for them so far not that great. Well, not good at all. 3 drives, 3 punts.
Yeah, and now what you're doing is you're looking at your play sheet. You're trying to figure out what you're going against defensively. I wonder, are they showing them something they haven't seen or anticipated in practice, and maybe that's throwing them off? Or do they just have to go to a different play calling section and try and run some offense that way?
Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
2nd down, Prescott. And this throw incomplete. And the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down. He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over him.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
Prescott from the gun on 3rd. Flushed out right. And he will avoid the contact as he slides to a stop. 1 quarter remains here as the regular season starts to wind down. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at FedEx Field. It's the Cowboys in possession of the football, but they trail here as we begin the 4th quarter of play. And a tough ask here. They're going to go for it on 4th down and 9. Desperation time. Prescott on 4th. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Cowboys here unable to convert on 4th down. And Washington will take control of the football in great field position. So now with a 2-minute warning coming up fast, that puts a mammoth dent in their comeback hopes.
I like how you phrased it. It's a dent because there's still opportunity. They've got to get the ball back on defense, obviously twice. But guess what? This thing is not close to being over. They need to go ahead and play it out.
Not over. As you said, 2-score game still. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Out of the gun, they give to Robinson. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. On 2nd down, another shot for Robinson. And he works his way free all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone. 76 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot. Two minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Commanders football as we get back to it. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win.
Delay of game, offense.
Play clock hit 0. Don't know what went wrong there, Charles, but it's going to cost them 5 yards.
Has to be some organization from the sideline. Sometimes when you're trying to decide on what play to send in, the play caller has to move a little bit faster.
To throw is Brissett. That's Samuel, caught left side. And quickly we're going to get another stop here with 1:54 left as they call the timeout defensively. Second down and a run by Robinson. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. The Cowboys going to use their second timeout now. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Robinson will score. Touchdown, Commanders. Some good running there at the end of the drive. He had the burst that set up the 1st and goal, and then one play later, he's in the end zone.
Brandon, what I liked about that sequence is I'm not sure who made the play call, but they understood the situation, understood the momentum. A nice hard-charging run, give it right back to him, and let him cap things off.
Slide for the PAT. And the lead opens up now to 22 points. 5 plays there on that drive. And it was capped off by the touchdown run for Brian Robinson. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. Well, I hate to say it, but at this point, I don't really know that they're playing to win with this deficit in the fourth quarter. They're just trying to erase that 0 on the scoreboard, Charles, and get some type of momentum to carry into the film session tomorrow.
If you get any type of points on the board, it'll count as a moral victory, although no one will talk about that in the post-game press conference. That's not something you mentioned in the NFL. And this loss, it already stings and will for a while. But everyone that offense knows it'll sting a lot worse if they don't put some points up on the board.
That's dumped off to Pollard.
And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36.
Brings up 2nd and 12 at the 36-yard line.
And his throw here's incomplete.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
They'll throw again. Prescott. And that's incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
Prescott to throw on 4th. And it's going to be batted down. It will go the other way with the football. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and it'll be a turnover on downs. Well, at this stage of the game in the second half, down 3 scores, I guess they felt like they needed to push.
And let's face it, with this deficit, if they give up another score here after they didn't get it, does it really matter?
Right.
It really doesn't. They had to go and try and make something happen if they had any chance of winning this game.
Washington about to close this one out as they are down to a knee.
The D can only stop it one more time as they take the knee.
So a victory here for the Commanders.
And this was truly a total team effort, Charles, on both sides of the ball.
But they absolutely pitched a shutout, so it can't get much better than that, right? The defense led the way, but the offense did their part as well. They moved the ball up and down the field. So you've got to like what you saw. What do they call that? A total team effort? I think when it's time to hand out game balls, guys from both sides.
Hey, used to have a silver tooth and I was just a pup, yeah. Now I got some killers who got shotties with the pumps. I don't wanna catch the feelings, I be trying to see what's up. Got a shorty clean the finish, I'm a diamond and to run it back. Used to have a silver tooth but I was just a pup. Now I got some killers who got shotties with the I don't wanna catch the feelings, I be trying to see what's up. I let shorty clean the finish, I'm a diamond and to run it. First order of biz, no snitch, and I try to keep it silent, but the kids don't listen. And birthday, got another hit, no flinch, and I tell them send her watch it like a fit, old friends. She on the class trying to get it, nigga. She think I'm a last cause I got a pass with her, and I ain't trying to let her down, but I'm not. If you was trying to settle down, get a fact. Lights on, pull up in the city with a nice jump. Lights off, lights on. Chinese for the chicken, need a wipe to throw the rice on. Pull up double park with all the ice on. Pick 'em like, she running up, she one of them. She pay a bill, she get up. 52nd Street, I double down, then I doubled up. 2023, and I'm the only coming up, yeah.
Can't stop till we all up in. I drop with the whole world sing. Pop when I do like this, it's the big block door.
Hey, used to have a silver tooth and I was just a pup, yeah. Now I got some killers who got shotties with the pumps. I don't wanna catch the feelings, I be trying to see what's up. Got a shorty clean the pendants, I'm a diamond in the rough.
24 karat VVs in the stars. Rings going off like Michael with the gloves. Only one model with designers in the thugs. When we shop at Rincon, bring a bottle full of couple platinum records later, still I got the game locked. Cut my lines fresher than Tory Lane's pop. Who got his swerve and is missing every raindrop. Hit him with that. Then they get their brain swap. Walk around like I'm nigga with the diamonds in the clock. You ain't walking on these, I got diamonds in my sock. Might be funny like I'm Biggie, but I'm riding like I'm Pop. I'm the king of your city, give a about your block. Lights on, lights off. Go on, twerk it if you know that song. Deep dive and get lost. Go and turn up if you know that you the boss.
Hey, used to have a silver tooth when I was just a pup, yeah. Now I got some killers who got shotties with the pumps. I don't wanna catch the feelings, I be trying to see what's up. Got a shorty clean the business, I'm a diamond and to run it back. Used to have a silver tooth, but I was just a pup. Now I got some killers who got shotties with the I don't wanna catch the feelings, I be trying to see what's up. I let shorty clean the business, I'm a diamond in the rough.
Madden Football brings you the divisional round of the NFL playoffs, and it's brought to you by EA Sports. It's the 49ers and the Commanders, and it's all up next.
For my money, it's the best time of the year, playoff football time, as postseason action descends upon FedEx Field just outside of D.C. Coming up, we've got an ultra-important divisional round matchup in the NFC, as it'll be the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Washington Commanders. Hello, everyone. As the postseason continues here on EA Sports, we're pleased to bring it to you. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And who has the edge here? You got one side that had some extra rest, but another comes in off a win last week in the wild card round.
And it's funny, depending on which team you are, you say that that's an advantage. You'll take the rest, you'll take the week off, get your guys healed up a little bit and ready to go. But that team that's coming in off of a win last week, they're really excited to keep playing. They feel like they are hot and ready to go.
The first of 4 berths in the conference championships on the line here as divisional weekend of the NFL is underway. So here's the first drive now for the 49ers. And they will be led out by their second-year quarterback.
All in all, he was pretty solid in the victory in the wild card round and threw a couple of touchdowns. And when it comes to quarterback play, you'd always love spectacular. But in the playoffs, you'll take solid. And that's exactly what they're looking for from him again in this contest.
The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey. And he'll get this up just shy of the 30.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
Another run with McCaffrey on second down. And he'll take this to the 32, a gain of about 3. Now we get a stoppage because, as you can see, a member of the Commanders in some obvious discomfort. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. Third play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3. Here's Purdy. Able to haul it in is Kittle. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Throwing here, Purdy. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely, frees up your guys elsewhere. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Officially nothing on that one, no gain, so they're left with still 10 to go on 3rd down. Purdy. Got his target, Samuel. And they're going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at Washington's 31-yard line. Up the gut, McCaffrey. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
If you're a coach, you'll absolutely take that run every time on first down because it really sets you up to go in a number of directions here on 2nd.
Throwing on 2nd down, it's Purdy. Open man is... Now the ball comes loose. And it's Washington that scoops it up. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line.
Thank goodness for heaters up here. And thank goodness I don't have to carry the football in this game. It's January. It's cold out there. Trying to clutch the football and absorb the hits, not easily done.
Yeah, we saw a product of the elements right there. to the 33-yard line. Here's a 2nd and 3 now from the 33. And now what's this? They fake the spike. He'll throw it. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down. We're scoreless after 1. Second quarter now from our nation's capital, and it's Washington in possession of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Here's Brissett. That's complete. Terry McLaurin with it. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
One of the feature points of the end route is being able to make a nice throw to the middle part of the field. And for a quarterback, that's one of the better throws and better looks that he'll get. But he has to be careful not to wait too long and let his receiver wander into some tough territory. If he's late with the ball, he can get his receiver hit and hit hard.
Taken down at the 30. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. Ball on the 30 now. Here's a 2nd down and 6. To throw, Brissett. Looking for Dotson, and he's got him. And he's down inside the 5 at the 4 before he's out of bounds. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup. And perhaps now close to the first points of this divisional round game as it's 1st and goal. Gibson is into the end zone. Touchdown, Washington. Joey Sly on for the extra point. And the kick is good, and the Commanders out to a 7-0 lead. So the drive there took 6 plays, and it results in a 4-yard touchdown run. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Devin Duvernay now returning from the end zone. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. San Francisco set to go on offense once more. And work with me here. Is this overhyped or not? You've got a warm weather team on the road in January, and it's cold. What's the deal? Is that a factor? Is it not a factor?
I think a lot of it depends on the personality of your head coach and how you prepare for things. And some things you just can't prepare for. If you're coming from a warm weather site, you can't make it cold enough like it is here in this ball game. But what you can do is just tell guys, dress for the weather, and then play like we always play. And as the game goes along, typically those guys out there playing, you warm up enough that it really shouldn't affect you quite the same way. Now, if that's all you talk about, if you put that in the heads of your players, it'll affect them in a big way.
3rd down, here's McCaffrey. And he's not going to get anywhere close to the markers. They'll stop him well short of the yellow line. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Let's take it inside his own 40. A very nice punt that time, but they get 11 back on the return. And this offense takes over in great shape right at the 50. 1st and 10. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1. 2nd and 10. A very chilly day here, but no snow. And I got to say, if it's going to be this cold, I want snow. You should see Charles' face. He's looking at me like I'm crazy. They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. With a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep. Try and throw some air under it and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they run successful.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
Absolutely no disguise on that one. They just went for it. Put him out there and said, go deep. Let's try and hit him. Unfortunately, to no avail.
The 3 straight incompletions, they don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on 4th. On play action, Brissett rolling to his right. Slings this deep from McLaurin. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. A surprising move to go for it. Predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off. And this defense will take over right at midfield. Purdy's throw complete here to Ayuk. And he's out of bounds as he gets this down to the 45. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and that'll make it 2nd down. Purdy now to throw. Oh, the Commanders are going to get there as he's taken down. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. And the defense coming through on 3rd down, a loss of 7 to bring up 4th. So we've come upon halftime here in this NFC divisional round matchup. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman ready with our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. This the first of 4 divisional round matchups coming up this weekend. We'll get back out to you guys in just a moment. But first, let's take a look ahead to tomorrow's other divisional round game in the NFC. And it looks like we've got a good one in store, as it'll be the Green Bay Packers taking on the Carolina Panthers. Meanwhile, in our game, we're set up for a terrific second half. Both these teams, no doubt, making their final adjustments as we speak. Which of these 2 teams is going to advance to the NFC title game next Sunday? To find out, let's get you back to Brandon Gott.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. The Washington offense ready to go to begin the 3rd quarter. And they're in the position they expected to be in. They've got the lead, home crowd behind them, and they're looking toward making that next step in these playoffs.
And I think a key for them is to put together some good, long, extended drives. Work the run in a little more with that big offensive line. I'm not saying get away from throwing the football. That's still working. But they run it more effectively, it may get even bigger plays in the passing game.
2nd and 10 here as we sit in the 3rd quarter of this divisional round matchup. Handoff now to Robinson. And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. He may go. Touchdown, Washington. Brian Robinson Jr., 67 yards. And the Commanders come right out of the locker room and score here in the opening minute of the 3rd quarter.
Apparently the week off hasn't hurt him one bit. 1,000-yard rush in the regular season, get his first touchdown here in the playoffs. Perhaps the week off energized him.
A great article in the paper this morning basically saying that they would not have won the division without him, and he's not their only piece, but I think that's a fair statement.
It's easy to say it this way. He's their main cog.
Now Joey Sly for the point after. And it's good to make it 14-0. It only took him 2 plays there to find the end zone. The last one, the long run, getting him in for 6 points. Kick team out there for the Commanders as they send this one away. And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. Here's a look at the 49ers offense as they make their way out for their first possession of the second half. Well, the opposition laid down the challenge and opening drive touchdown here to start the second half. And, Charles, now you feel like this group needs to get an answer because this all of a sudden is a 2-score game.
Yeah, you're right about that. It was a small, manageable spread to overcome. A little bit more daunting now. I think you're exactly right. Pressure is on because you don't want them getting the ball back with a chance to really extend this lead out.
On second down, McCaffrey. And McCaffrey going to pick up a Niners first down as he gets this up past the 40.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
Purdy looking to throw on first down here. He'll get this complete to Charlie Warner.
Yeah, he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard.
Ball right on the 50-yard line. Here's second down at a yard. Purdy will set up to throw it here. And the Washington pressure gets to him. He will go down.
Jonathan Allen picks up his second sack of the afternoon. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down.
Out of the gun, Purdy.
Under pressure, and they got to him again. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack. One quarter remains for a trip to the NFC title game. Back now at FedEx Field. It's 49er football, but some ground to cover. They find themselves behind as we hit the fourth and final quarter.
Purdy, big fourth down play. Completes it to Samuel.
And able to pick up the first across midfield to the 47.
Purdy from the gun. That's over the middle and caught by Ayuk.
Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
Well, this crowd trying to force a false start here. 3rd and inches. Purdy on third down.
And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds, so a big call there. That brings up fourth.
Purdy on fourth down.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Niners go for it, but it doesn't work out. And this 10-play drive winds up yielding nothing.
A good starting spot for Washington as they come up 1st and 10
at their 38. On the bootleg, it's Brissett. Forced out to his left. Oh, a nifty juke there.
Not much fun for a guy trying to tackle it.
Well, he is out of bounds inside the 35.
And we're going to stop play here, at least momentarily. It looks like there's a 49er who's in some discomfort. Hopefully, obviously, nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break.
Now a first carry for their fullback. And now we're going to get a timeout defensively. So another stop, 1:50 left in the football game. This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8. That one looks like he'll throw here. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Despite the lead here in the fourth, they're still taking shots.
Not content to sit on this lead at all. And to me, it raises the question of what's right in this game nowadays. Do you sit on the ball and run it because you have enough of a lead? Or do you try and extend it because you always feel like the other team can come back?
Extend it. Have some fun. And he gets the first down here as he's taken down at the 24.
5 points of contact necessary at this stage as they'll run on first down.
And he'll be out of bounds.
103 yards rushing for him now. He's only carried the ball 4 times.
And that's a great run, and this is when you've got a running back who feels like he needs to take over this football game. You're in the second half, you've got the lead, you're looking at moving on to the conference championship, and he's got to be saying, just keep giving me the ball, and I'll get us.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Washington. Brian Robinson Jr.
His second touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Commanders are moving closer to a date now in the NFC Championship game as they're able to extend this fourth quarter lead. Sly on for the extra point. And it is now 21-0. That time a 6-play drive. And it was capped off by the touchdown run for Brian Robinson. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. On the return, Devin Duvernay. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. And San Francisco gets set to go here. At this point, partner, things looking pretty bleak. They still haven't scored here in the fourth quarter, facing the big deficit. Just what silver linings, what can they look to do here offensively?
You know, it's funny, I talked about this with a coach in the offseason and kind of had this scenario, like what feels good to you and what feels good to your team. You're down big. You really have like one possession left, and you're trying to put points on the board that don't matter. But do they? And he told me they actually do matter. And in this situation, he's going to try and run the best offense he can run to have at least a little bit of confidence to take away from that game. So right now, they're going to try their best to get something up on the board and not get shut out.
Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. Purdy. And he's got McCaffrey open, complete. And he is out of bounds, able to get it across the 20-yard line. It'll be a gain of 12, but it will also lead to fourth down. The decision made for them. They've got to go. It's fourth down. Fourth down try. Here's Purdy. And it's going to be batted down, and we'll go the other way with the football. Brissett to throw on first. And Thomas has it. 18 yards that time to push him up first and goal.
Well, how about this aggressive approach? Got the lead, fourth quarter, continuing to throw the football. Are you thinking about Super Bowl 51? Atlanta had the lead against New England, and they ended up giving it up?
I was going to say, don't say it, but you did say it.
I did.
And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. Brian Robinson Jr. saving his best for the playoffs with his third touchdown of the game. And the Commanders continue to show why it pays to play at home in the postseason as they add on to their lead. Slide for the PAT. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. They had the short field, and they made quick work of it. Just 2 plays to get into the end zone. And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
The Commanders are moving on as we say goodnight, everybody. That'll do it for us, for Charles Davis and all our hard work.
Way out of control.
It's the NFC Championship game, and the road to a Super Bowl goes through Washington. It's the Panthers and the Commanders, and it's coming up next on Madden Football.
For my money, it's the best time of the year, playoff football time, as postseason action descends upon FedEx Field just outside of D.C. Coming up, a battle to represent the NFC in this year's Super Bowl, and we've got a potential classic in store, as it'll be the Carolina Panthers taking on the Washington Commanders. Hello, everyone. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The postseason continuing here on EA Sports. And, man, it is electric in here, and it should be conference championship time.
I don't know about you, but my butterflies in my stomach, they have iron wings in this one. And every guy I've ever talked to has all said the same thing. This game, the conference championship game, may have more intensity than even the Super Bowl because you know what the stakes are. You're trying so hard to get to the big game that this is the one that's the real challenge.
Oh, a good return up past the 30. Past midfield. Still going. One man to beat. And he will score. Touchdown, Commanders. In a game of this magnitude, it's always good to get out to a great start. But a game of this magnitude, you go up early, that's a big deal.
It's a huge deal. Psychologically, you now have the advantage as well as on the scoreboard. And also, it's a settling effect for your team. You're in it now. You've got the lead. Let's just go play some more ball.
Joey Sly on for the extra point. It's good, and Washington will take a 7-0 lead. So how about that for an intriguing start? The opening kickoff of the ball game, return for a touchdown. So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. And we will not see an attempt to match that return touchdown, as this will be a touchback and bring it out to the 25. So here are the Panthers now for their opening drive. And they will be led out by their rookie quarterback.
And just in case you didn't know in the days leading up to the NFC title game, you definitely know now. No rookie quarterback has ever won the Super Bowl. But this is getting towards uncharted territory. This is a monster deal. If this offense believes in it, which I believe that it does, they could be the ones to break that streak. And having spent time around this team, I'm starting to believe they're going to get it done.
Miles Sanders, first carry of the game. And the defense closes quickly there. He'll get maybe a yard to the 33. An early task, 2 plays in. This is 3rd and 2. Young to throw it. Oh, he tried to fit it in on the slant, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jamin Davis. And he will bring this one back. An interception return for a Commanders touchdown. Well, CD, we have seen it many times throughout the course of the season. This defense coming up large and snagging a big takeaway. But here they get not just the takeaway, 6 points as well.
And you just knew that for this team to advance, it had to get a big performance from this unit. And to this point, they've delivered.
Now Joey Sly for the point after. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. They'll need to come from behind if they want to play in 2 weeks as they trail early in this NFC Championship game. Well, Lane opens up that time as he'll be brought down just short of a first after a gain of about 9. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game, maybe establish the run? I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Ready?
On play action, Young. Oh, the Commanders are going to get there as he's taken down. We'll get a pause here. There appears to be a Panther who was shaken up on that last play. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Throwing, Young. That's over the middle and caught by Mingo. So the completion good for 7 there. And they'll be facing a 3rd and 12. Let's see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a 1st down. On 3rd down, they turn to Sanders. And he will get him down a couple yards shy of the 1st down marker. A nice tackle coming up from his free safety spot. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Panther football to start quarter number 2. So on 4th down, here's Johnny Hecker to punt it away. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. So here are the Commanders making their way out. They'll be led out by their quarterback, a product of NC State. It's Jacoby Brissett.
And we can talk all we want about football being a team game and leaning on different parts and aspects in order to get it done. And that's entirely true during the regular season. Some weeks it's the defense, the special teams, running the football. But in the playoffs, all the pressure reverts to the quarterback, and he has to play well and play at a really high level in order for his team to win.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. To throw is Brissett. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
A couple of quick incompletions, and now they're just one more away from getting off the field. They've got options now. Could they dial up a blitz here or just drop everyone into coverage to crowd the throwing lanes?
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Now a first carry here for Robinson. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short. Give him 9 on the carry, but it's not enough, and it'll be 4th down. Tress Way on 4th down is sent out to punt. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Panthers will take over now, 1st and 10. The possession of the football goes over to Carolina. They trail early on the road in the playoffs. Not a great combination as they've got it 1st and 10. They'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. 2 minutes remain in the 1st half of this NFC Championship. And the ball on the 30. Here's 2nd and 4. From the shotgun, it's Young. Open man is Mingo. Complete. 1st down now, but that clock rolling. Here's Young from the shotgun. Hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down. Chase Young. What a play by him. That's going to go as a loss of 13. Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Montez Sweat in there to drop him in sacks on 1st and 2nd downs. Now leads to a 3rd and long. Not wanting to risk another sack, they'll play it safe with a run. And they'll indeed stop him on 3rd down. And now what do you want to do do with your timeouts? It's a pickup of 6, but it's not going to be enough. And the punt team's going to be summoned on 4th down. On is the punter, Hecker, as he gets this one away. Taken in at the 22. So we've reached halftime here. Yeah, who has time for a halftime show with a trip to the Super Bowl on the line? Let's get back to it. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gordon, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. The Hallis Trophy still hangs in the balance as the second half now underway in the NFC Championship game. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15. Out come the Panthers. They'll have it first on offense in the 3rd quarter. And they have work to do in this second half if they want to earn that berth to the Super Bowl.
And I'm pretty sure this is where their coaches at halftime were saying don't panic, and then demonstrating it by not making a lot of drastic changes to the game plan. Let's just get back to doing what we've been doing all year long. That should be more than good enough.
So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. Up the middle they go with Sanders. Oh, a 6-yard gain. Still plenty of work to do coming up. 3rd and 14.
He's had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety.
Well, it's pretty evident that's not the way you want to try and establish momentum ahead of a possible 4th quarter comeback, because you needed points there, at least something to build on for your next series. That was neither. Instead, it's a huge play for a defense that now has no doubt it can finish this game off.
Oh, what a move. Now Washington going to retake the field for drive number 2. And I think here with the lead, CD, they have to resist that temptation of kind of looking ahead. Would you agree?
Absolutely, I would agree, because they know the stakes. They know the winner of this game goes to the Super Bowl. And this one, it's far from over. They were the better team in the first half, but they do know that they're facing their toughest opponent of the year. And they've got to be prepared for them to fight it out all the way and add a few extra wrinkles in the second half as well. They need to stay on guard. And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot.
Looking for McLaurin, and he's got it. Touchdown, Washington. From 19 yards away. And the Commanders continue to show why it pays to play at home in the postseason as they add on to their lead. Well, something about this team, you just felt like they were one of destiny all season long, and they made themselves today, as you can see, the class of the NFC.
Yeah, and it's starting to look more and more like a Super Bowl trip is very much in their future.
And the fans starting to book those tickets. Sly on for the extra point. And that PAT pushes the lead up to 23 now. The long touchdown pass gets them 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Here are the Panthers now as their offense comes back out onto the field.
And really, Charles, not much of a surprise that they're losing. They just haven't been able to get much of anything going in the pass game. And as you well know, in today's NFL, if the passing game isn't working, usually not much else is working either.
You're exactly right about that, partner. And I know that right now the easy answer would be, hey, let's run the football. But that might not be everything you need. So despite the fact that they've struggled throwing it, they've got to find some type of a play, multiple plays, that puts the ball in the air and allows for them to have some success.
27 yards there, a first down.
First down, Carolina.
On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. And he'll be taken down after a minimal pickup, and that will take us to the end of quarter number 3. Back now at FedEx Field. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. Young to throw it. They're quickly to Thielen here. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41. Washington on third down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. And they're going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at Washington's 30. And he cannot get away, and Young will go down. And the offense moving quickly to the line. On second down, Young. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Montez Sweat in there to take him down on what will take us to the 2-minute warning. So it's Panther football as we welcome you back. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long.
Check, pitch, blue, check.
Now Young. Now he's forced out left. And he'll get it out to midfield. Let's spot it right in midfield at the 50. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Benjamin St. Juste. Down the sideline he goes. And he will bring this one back. An interception return for a Commanders touchdown. Well, this one was already ugly, and now it's just kind of becoming a feast on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, partner, this is a unit that knows they've got this game in the bag with this huge lead, and it's going to drive their coaches crazy because they're telling them, play it straight, do all the right things. But these guys are going to be freewheeling now. All of them are going to take chances, and that one pays off with an INT and a return for 6.
The extra point by Sly is up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Carolina getting set to take the field. And their backs really against the wall now. And we knew how tough it would be for them. You're coming on the road, NFC title game, crazy environment, and certainly just not looking good here in the 4th. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Young now. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Young on 3rd down. And he's got Hurst, his tight end. And he is going to have a Panthers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Now a first down throw for Young. He's got Mingo. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. And with this game well in hand, perhaps we are seeing the coverage lighten up a little bit as they got burned there a bit for a first down.
But we certainly know the coach isn't happy along the sideline because he certainly wants them to finish this one out the way they started it. He doesn't want to give up any soft completions, no late points. He wants this lead to stay right where it is. Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
And Young's throw there incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
Again, it's Young. One last shot at the end zone. And that will be incomplete. They were going for a consolation TD, but it was not to be. And time has run out now on this game.
The Commanders are going to the Super Bowl as we say good night, everybody.
And that'll close the books on the conference championship. For Charles Davis, myself, Brandon Gaudin, and our entire crew, we'll talk to you in 2 weeks from the Super Bowl.
First off, my name Toe, but it's really Tobe Chuku. Got a BM that keep my season, that keep me fruitful. Grew up wearing platinum FUBU on the Southwest eating fufu. And the hammer that I keep don't come with nails. Look, I ain't know who Bill Burr was until I met the man. Half my married to the street without a wedding band. I done peeped that all these rappers won't be secondhand. My pop said I'd be broken, barely eat. I should've bet the man. Yeah, cause I'm way, way, way up. Long ways from the days I these valet stores couldn't pay. Nowadays, all the cake I make us is enough to buy about 100 trucks from Mercedes. I resage Chukwueze, then my babies. Label hit be trying to sway me, pay me. Wrote the game 2020, you can see it plainly. Can't nobody play me, I kill everything innately. At the helm of the mothership of drip, you can see me leaking. Shh, be quiet, a real speaking. Voice of God, every word I jot, feel the spirit breathing. Best new artist, but the way I cook, very seasoned. Everything around me moving, like bachata. Usher told me do it my way, Frank Sinatra. Been a shotter, been locked in with my katas. Now I got them raving how I'm big on lines. Hello, Denata. Sheesh. On God, I'm a dog, bro. Need a clergy collar, dodging fleas from you, dog. Adversely, I affect a demon.
Madden football is the home of the Super Bowl, and this historic matchup is brought to you by EA Sports. It's the Commanders and the Jets, and it comes your way next.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Tonight, it is all on the line. We play for the Lombardi Trophy, as it'll be the AFC champion New York Jets taking on the NFC champions, the Washington Commanders. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, safe to say it has been a long time since we talked about the Jets in the Super Bowl. You have to go back to Joe Namath in Super Bowl III to find their last involvement in this game.
And Brandon, when I go back through the recesses of my mind, when Joe Namath was running off the field, Super Bowl III, forget it. I'm not counting up those years. Let's just say it's been a long time. And there's Jets fans who stuck around through it all, and what a night this could be if they can finish off what they've set out to do.
Meanwhile, the Commanders making their first appearance in this game with their new nickname. Remember, under their previous moniker, they made the big game 5 times and won it 3 of those.
But it's been more than 30 years since their last appearance here, partner. Super Bowl 26 in Minneapolis. That was the old Metrodome. Mark Rippon leading them to victory in that one.
Well, the final act of the 2023 season is at hand. What a spectacle in Las Vegas. We're off in Super Bowl 58. So now here comes the Jet offense as they get ready to take over. They'll be led out by the former Cal Bear, Aaron Rodgers.
And no doubt he's living out a dream right now. He's had dating back to his first days of playing football as a kid. But he certainly can't get lost in the moment right now. There's still a Super Bowl to be played, and his offense, they're looking to him to be their leader. You can take it all in when it's over. Right now, you got the biggest game of your life to win.
How about the defense there trying to set the tone on the very first play of the game?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a glow here tonight because they brought the heat right out of the gate. What a good job establishing the tone for this one.
And a stoppage here. We're going to need to take a moment as a Jet was shaken up on that one. We'll take a break and get a report from Vegas after this. 3 and out, a real danger here on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 12. Here's Rodgers. And the Washington pressure gets to him, and he will go down. Jonathan Allen in there to get him for a loss of 9 yards, and that also leads to 4th down. On 4th down, here's the veteran Thomas Morstead to punt for the Jets. He'll take it at the 42. Oh, nice move. A great return there, bobbing and weaving his way for 31 yards. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. So here's Washington now in excellent field position to start things out. They'll be led out by their quarterback, a product of NC State. It's Jacoby Brissett.
As we begin the Super Bowl, we're looking at one of the game's most important players. And whether he's the centerpiece of the offense or taking a backseat to his teammates, offenses always look to the quarterback to be a leader in moments like this. He's got to be that calm, composed pillar out there who stays level-headed and keeps everyone focused on the task at hand.
And a stoppage here. We're going to need to take a moment as a jet was shaken up on that one. We'll take a break and get a report from Vegas after this.
Second down, Brissett.
And this one too low.
Everyone rolls into the Super Bowl saying, hey, I'm confident. I'll just do what I did before. But let's face it, you got to be wary of the jitters going into a big game like this. Super Bowl's unlike any other game you're going to play.
And now he's starting out 0 for 2. We'll see if he can rebound. On third down, Brissett.
And he finds McLaurin. And he's going to have a Commanders first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. You look at this Super Bowl, the second appearance for this head coach. The first one did not go as planned, as we all know. But what do you think he's learned from that first go-around?
And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington.
Brian Robinson Jr.
A 16-yard touchdown run.
And the Commanders are on the board first here in this Super Bowl.
Well, you've got to like that start on both sides of the football. You force the 3 and out, and then you score on your first drive.
Well, I know someone who doesn't like that start.
Well, yeah, the other side.
Yeah, they don't like that at all, right? This is not the way it's supposed to be. But what you just described, that's team football, all right? When you get a 3 and out, you're supposed to take advantage of it on the offensive side of the ball. You said, thank you very much for getting us to rock. Let's put it in the end zone, and they did exactly that.
Washington kick team back out there now as they will send this one away. Taylor decides not to try to return it, and this will come out to the 25-yard line.
And New York set to take the field. They trail early on in this Super Bowl as they come up 1st and 10. Shotgun now for Rodgers. In trouble, and he's taken down.
Buried by multiple defenders on the drive's first play.
Now that after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. Rodgers going to throw. And he coughs up the football near his own goal line.
Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it.
And he won't get in, but you can't be set up any better than that. They'll have the ball at the 1-yard line.
That feels like an accumulation of the pressure we've seen all game. I mean, he's been on the turf a whole lot because of sacks. Eventually, something else happens as well, and this time it was a turnover.
Yeah, caught up to him.
The Commanders going to retake the field for drive number 2. And really, you can't have a better situation than this. First,
and they'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Washington.
Antonio Gibson
taking it in from a yard out.
And the Commanders will add to their first quarter lead here in this Super Bowl.
Well, Brandon, he just followed his nose, and his nose took him to the end zone. But how about the big guys up front? Give him at least a stalemate in order to find that space.
Yeah, the O-line won the battle in the trenches there, didn't they?
The extra point by Sly is up and good.
And it's now 14-0. Well, they got the ball in great field position. One play later, boom, end zone. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
And this will be brought out to the 25 as Taylor elects to not return it.
The Jets offense now works their way back onto the field.
They trail early on in this Super Bowl as they come up 1st and 10.
Throwing now is Rodgers.
He dumps this one off here to Hall.
And he is going to lose yardage here. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard.
That brings us to the end of one in Super Bowl 58. And we are back. Biggest game of the year, the Super Bowl, and both teams ready for the start of the second quarter. Ball at the 24 and a 2nd and 11.
Here's Rodgers to throw.
They'll set up the screen for Hall.
They'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6.
That's a nice design there, but sometimes, though, you get so many blockers out ahead of you, they kind of slow you down and force you to adjust. You always appreciate guys trying to help you, but maybe one less there could have turned this into a bigger game.
He has a man. It's complete to Wilson. And he is going to have a Jets first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. On 1st and 10, it's Hall. And he'll manage to pick up about 4 at second down.
The defense thought they had that play covered, but it still got driven backward by those blockers. Those types of plays are a key part of any team's offensive game plan. It all starts up front in the trenches.
A reminder, coming up at intermission, we'll get highlights of this Super Bowl from Jonathan Coachman and the crew in Orlando for our EA Sports halftime report. Meanwhile, Rodgers' throw going to be caught by Davis. And they're going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at Washington's 41-yard line.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half. I like their countenance. I like the way that they're having panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
A little bit here in this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on first down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops and escape this drive.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
But there's an incompletion, partner, and the struggles through the air continue because so far their lack of passing production has led to a lack of points.
Now Rodgers. He's got his man. That's Hardman. And they're going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at Washington's 23. On play action, it's Rodgers. This will be caught inside the 10. Another 18-yard gain. They had 18 on the previous snap as well.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a first and goal.
Rodgers to throw once more. And he'll just get rid of it.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this defense because their coverage has been played at a shutdown level so far. Even backed up late, they're forcing incompletions and fighting to keep them out of the end zone as the first half winds down.
From the gun, it's Rodgers. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
All right, Captain, it's batten down the hatches time defensively. Dodged 2 pass attempts to the end zone. Now what do you think they're going to try and dial up on 3rd and goal?
Well, knowing them and knowing what we've just seen, I think they're throwing it again, don't you?
I think you have to. I think in this situation, you've kind of run out of your running plays. Fire another one into the end zone.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. Zerline's kick is up and through, and they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So, Charles, they are on the board after that kick. So 3 drives, 3 points. Obviously not the start that you were hoping for, but they're able to erase that 0 off the scoreboard.
Yeah, I guess what you're saying is a point a drive is not what offenses are striving for by any stretch. They're happy they've got 3 now. They hope that that unlocks their offense for bigger points down the road.
So it's halftime here on sports' grandest stage in the Super Bowl. As we are off to Orlando now to check in with Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports halftime report.
It's been a tremendous season of football, but it's not over yet. 1 half remains to decide who will stand on the podium with the Vince Lombardi Trophy. And to call the second half, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis. Both teams making their final adjustments of the season during this long halftime break. Who will claim the Lombardi Trophy? To find out, we go back to Brandon and Charles in Vegas for the second half of Super Bowl 58.
A lane opens here. He's past the 30. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. First chance for the Commanders' offense now as they head out for their opening series of the second half. Off the play fake, here's Brissett. He completes this one to Terry McLaurin. Fresh out of the locker room, they hit him with a gain of over 20.
Well, certainly as a fan, you get a little bit nervous when you see him make those kind of throws. But they work on that in practice more than we know. And most of them now know their limits and know what they can get away with. And there's a completion right there.
On 1st and 10, it's Robinson. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. The linebacker, C.J. Mosley, in on the stop. From the 38 now, here's 2nd and 5. Here's Brissett. He's going to fire this thing deep right sideline. He's got it. Touchdown, Commanders. Jahan Dotson, 38 yards. And the Commanders will extend their third-quarter lead here in this Super Bowl. The fly route works for the TD grab.
And you know what the receivers love to say? If we get even with the defender, we're leaving. And that's exactly what he did, all the way into the end zone. And then he was on the business end catching it once he got over the stripe.
Slide for the PAT. And it's 21-3. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it was Jahan Dotson with a touchdown catch to finish things off. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Taylor decides not to try to return it, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. So here's the Jets offense now as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
On 2nd down, a run with Hall. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have to contend with a 3rd and 13. Well, another modest gain there on that one, and I think, Charles, you can probably pin part of the deficit on a failure on their part to really get this ground game established.
Yeah, and they've really struggled to be multidimensional in this one, having a partner, because they have to be extremely one-dimensional now if they hope to get back in.
And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home. He could not get away that time, and it'll be a loss of 11 on 3rd down. And here's Morstead now as he sends this one away. So the punt rolls out of bounds, and they'll have pretty good field position here up near the 40-yard line. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the 3rd quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early.
And that's caught inside the 30. Inside the 10. Touchdown, Washington. Jahan Dotson, his 2nd touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Commanders are starting to open things up here in this Super Bowl.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that into the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
The extra point by Sly is up and good. And they open the lead up now to 25. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will be brought out to the 25 as Taylor elects to not return it. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. Throwing on 1st down is Rodgers. And that one not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time is now run out on this 3rd quarter play. And we're back in the Super Bowl. Time to decide who gets to hoist that Lombardi trophy as we begin the fourth and final quarter of action.
On second down, here's Rodgers.
And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front. Mecole Hardman, the intended target, and it's third down. Now, right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains.
Throwing is Rodgers on third down. Pressure comes and down he goes. Daron Payne, his second sack of the night. If they're going to have a shot in this Super Bowl, they're going to need this one on fourth down. Now Rodgers got to have this one. And that is incomplete. The Jets try it, but the fourth down play doesn't work. And now possession's going to go over with a football at the 20-yard line. A first down throw for Brissett. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
So still throwing here in the fourth quarter with a pretty sizable lead, and now that lead even more sizable. And if nothing else here, CD, a chance to pile on some stats before this one wraps up, and he did just that.
Brandon, convention tells us it's time for them to get off the gas a little bit, right? But you and I both know the receivers don't want them to because, as you noted, this is their chance to pile on the stats. If they got their way, they try to get every single spot in the depth chart points before this game is over.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
Taylor decides not to try to return it, and this will come out to the 25-yard line.
So out now come the Jets.
And their Super Bowl hopes are dwindling here in the fourth. That AFC crown from 2 weeks ago starting to seem like a distant memory. And this one just has not gone as they had hoped.
And Rodgers is going to go down. He's sacked.
Chase Young in there to take him down on what will take us to the 2-minute warning. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair.
So it's Jets football as we get you reset here.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle.
To throw, it's Rodgers.
And the pressure gets to him again. Multiple defenders getting to him there for a huge loss.
They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone so they could use something here on third down.
Jonathan Allen, 2 plays in a row now that he has gotten in there for the sack, and it brings up fourth down.
And that's his third sack, and that ties a Super Bowl record. Makes me think of my old college teammate, Reggie White. He had 3 with the Green Bay Packers in Super Bowl 31. Darnell Dockett of Arizona, Super Bowl 43. And Coney Ealy, 3 sacks for the Panthers against Denver in Super Bowl 50.
All those sacks, they've only been an official record since Super Bowl 17. I know it's believed that L.C. Greenwood unofficially had 4 way back in Super Bowl 10.
Wearing those golden high tops as well.
There's Robinson showing the flash. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19.
They give him 16 yards there, and it's a Washington first down. Back to Robinson now on first down.
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
You talk about certain guys just having a nose for the end zone. He's one of them, and he was not going to be denied there.
And defensively, especially in the red zone, you've got to be able to at least slow him down and hold on for dear life. But he's able to get out of a couple of tackles there, and not enough people got there in time. Pretty poor on the defensive side of the ball.
Extra point by Sly is up and good.
And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
And this will be brought out to the 25 as Taylor elects to not return it. The Jets ready to get going again here on offense.
They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now Rodgers. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on 3rd. As this one moves towards its conclusion, another incomplete pass there. Thoughts on the secondary? Seem to be pretty effective in this one.
Yeah, I thought that they've been absolutely outstanding. I mean, their job is to prevent touchdowns, and not a single touchdown's going on the board against them. Of course, they want to make it a total shutout, but hey, if you don't give up touchdowns, you've got a heck of a chance to win.
And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. They get it, the Washington Commanders, Super Bowl champions. And this storied franchise will once again possess the Lombardi Trophy. And their remarkable season ends in the most remarkable of ways. They get to put next to their name, Super Bowl champion.
And they can't ever take that away, can they?
Nope.
That lasts forever. So good to see the emotion when it's all said and done. You see the hugs, you see the guys sharing, the collective happiness. Makes me want to carry you around a little bit on my shoulders to celebrate the triumph. And congratulations to them, a fantastic season.
I can teach you how to get paid, how to get by, and how to get fly. I can teach you how to get cake, if not the whole thing, at least a little slice. Honestly, I'm an immaculate anomaly. I'm an organic organism, ain't no ordinary organs in them. I can't afford any synonymy. That's why my flow is like a cinnamon tsunami with the lemongrass.